Go back up.
Dude, that's a good one.
Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
Today we go fishing for smallmouth bass. Before going fishing, I stopped at Sportsman Warehouse Club, I think it's called. It's kind of a cool store, but it used to be Toys R Us, so now it's like a Toys R Us for adults. But I spent many years as a kid just having my wish list for things I wanted. It was a huge store, and now it's a huge fishing store, and those guys are really cool. I talked to this guy, I can't remember his name, but he basically was giving me some tips on what lures that were working around the area, and he showed me also how to rig this up. This is where I learned how to fish. It's the Susquehanna River. Spent many summers living with my grandparents in their house. Here it is. They lived in a town called Wormleysburg, which is on the west side of the Susquehanna River. That's Harrisburg right there. This is where I caught my first fish. My first fish was a rock bass. I decided to park by my grandma's house and walk on down the bank. From there, I waded out and I noticed that the water was kind of shallow and there was a lot of grass in the water. So the fishing wasn't great, but I did walk all the way out to the middle of the river. And you can see here, that's the state capitol. I even stopped and tried to catch some crayfish. And as a kid, we used to use crayfish as bait. So you obviously lift the rocks up, grab them. They kind of swim backwards, so you got to anticipate that. And then you hook them through the tail. Sometimes we'll take the claws off. But anyways, tried doing that. No action there, so I let that guy go. So I spent about 4 hours waiting, and like I said, it was really hard to fish because there was so much grass, and I tried my best. I ended up catching 4 bass. I think the biggest one was 12 inches. So I decided to kind of go home, regroup, but I really wanted to try to get some bass action. So I reached out on a whim to a place called Susquehanna Smallmouth Guides, and I talked to a guy named Joe. He was super cool, and I asked him, hey, is there any chance that I could book a trip with you guys? And he said yeah, so he basically called his friend Randy, gave me his number, and I was fishing that same afternoon. So shout out to Randy. He was able to put me on bass, tell me where to cast, and this is the lure that I was using. It was a blue chatterbait. The first fish that I caught was actually a channel catfish, which is kind of rare because usually you catch those with some type of bait or live bait, but I never did catch it with the lure, so first time for that.
Yep. Got one.
So the night before we went fishing, it rained, so the river was coming up, which was good. It made it a little bit easier to find the bass. They were kind of hiding out in areas where the water was slower, just to stay out of the current, because the current tends to pick up when the river's rising. So we were just looking for some slack water along banks, behind stick piles, behind big boulders. I learned a lot just from the few hours that I fished with Randy.
The current, that's why.
Yep.
You! Haha! Hell yeah! You! GoPro going. Yeah.
Sun is there.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he's on.
One. Ah, yeah, terrible one.
Yeah, he's decent. I don't know how there's no fish in there.
There's got to be fish in there. If he's not there, he might be dead.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Maybe the same, but. Hell yeah.
Yeah, threw your
Maybe
bait
a little
out.
better.
Yeah, there you go. Bring it real slow.
Some bait fish, yeah.
Normally that's why the bass are in there, because the bait is in there. That one?
Maybe something small, yeah. Good call.
Small?
Yeah,
That was big.
small. I'm gonna say 12-incher. Current makes him feel a lot more.
Yeah, current.
I should have tried to. Oh, maybe he's not bad actually.
Can you get him? You gotta go back to him.
See if I can get him. Yeah, he's decent. Ooh, he's decent.
Yeah, hold up.
All right.
I'm gonna come back here. It's gonna start drifting back.
All right, cool.
Come up here.
It's a decent
I'm gonna
fish.
come off of spot lock. We can go back up, so we can go towards him.
Yeah.
Because the more he's on, the bigger that hole's getting in his mouth, and the better chance he has of getting off.
Got it.
Dude, that's a good one.
Fuck yeah. Let's go. Yes. PB.
He's 18. Put him on the board.
Oh my God. Yeah,
That's a good one, man.
The fish ended up being a little over 18 inches long and a little bit over 3 pounds. It was my personal best. I was super stoked. Got some cool photos, got a cool release shot. From there, we fished until dark. Caught a couple smaller ones. I lost a couple. But all in all, it was an awesome trip, and it was time to head back.
All right, dude, go for it.
Had to stop at Sheets. They're known for their subs. Got a sub for the ride home, was super good. I had to get some Utz potato chips because they're from PA. I had an amazing trip going back to Pennsylvania and visiting friends and family. Caught some flatheads, and I finished the trip catching a personal best smallmouth bass. Shout out to Susquehanna Smallmouth Guides and Randy Long. Thanks so much for all the tips. Please like and subscribe. I want to continue making these videos. Hope you're enjoying them. And until next time, tight lines, everybody.